After doing a bit of deep diving, internet sleuths were able to uncover the identity of Todd Chrisley's cellmate at the Pensacola Federal Prison camp. So, who is the disgraced reality TV king currently bunking with behind bars? Todd Chrisley's cellmate's identity leaked. Who is it? Turns out, Todd Chrisley's cellmate behind bars at the Pensacola Federal Prison camp is a man named William "Rick" Singer. Now, Rick Singer doesn't have the same celebrity status as Todd Chrisley. He, however, did make headlines as the mastermind behind the Operation Varsity Blues college admissions bribery scandal. In January of this year, Rick Singer received a sentencing of 3.5 years behind bars in federal lockup. CNN reports Todd Chrisley's new cellmate was at the center of a massive college admissions scam. The scam involved wealthy parents paying huge bribes to sidestep standardized tests and influence university staff that had a hand in college admission. Per his BOP file, Rick Singer is scheduled for release on January 29, 2026. So, he and Todd could be bunking for a few years. In chatter on Reddit, some Chrisley Knows Best fans admit the irony of Rick having such a light sentence compared to Todd doesn't escape them. One fan explained, "He made many millions with his fraud, but he helped the government with their investigation, admitted guilt and expressed remorse. He only got 3 years. Chrisley's could have done the same." Another fan chimed in pointing out that many people came forward to tell Todd and Julie Chrisley to take a plea deal, including Bravo's Joe and Teresa Giudice. Because Todd and Julie opted not to take a plea deal and maintained their innocence, the judge threw the book at them with their sentencing. Fans say exposure will go to his head. In chatter on Reddit, fans agree Todd Chrisley's exposure to Rick Singer and other famous inmates will go to his head. Fans fully expect Todd to brag about some of the individuals he spent time with during his time behind bars. The original fan who brought up the bragging on Reddit explained, "You just know Todd is going to sashay out of there bragging about all the slightly famous white-collar criminals he did time with. Just like he bragged about having Usher and Chipper Jones living in their neighborhood." Todd Chrisley is reportedly looking worse for wear as he cannot color his hair or continue to get his beloved Botox. Unfortunately, fans have not been able to get eyes on Todd. Even his mugshot is under lock and key right now. Do you have any thoughts on the identity of Todd Chrisley's cellmate? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. And, keep coming back for more Chrisley news. The news hit the tabloids like a thunderbolt. Todd Chrisley's cellmate's identity had been leaked. For weeks, speculation had run rampant about who might share the confines of the prison cell with the star of Chrisley Knows Best. Whispers of high-profile inmates, notorious criminals, and surprise names buzzed across social media and gossip columns. Now, the truth was out, and it was more shocking than anyone could have imagined. Todd Chrisley, the once glamorous patriarch of reality TV fame, had seen his life turned upside down in the past few years. Convicted of tax evasion and bank fraud, he had traded his opulent mansion for a stark, cold prison cell. The cameras that once adored his every move now captured his descent into infamy. While the world watched with a mixture of fascination and schadenfreude, one question loomed large: who was his cellmate? The name leaked through the cracks of the prison system, carried by a source who preferred to remain anonymous but couldn't resist sharing the juicy tidbit. As the news broke, Chrisley's fans and detractors alike flooded social media with their reactions. Some expressed shock, others amusement, and a few speculated about how the two men might interact. Would they form an unlikely alliance, or would the tension of two egos clash within the confined space? Inside the prison, the atmosphere was tense. Chrisley, who had been trying to maintain a low profile, knew that Sullivan's presence would complicate his already difficult life behind bars. The snake was a master manipulator, and Todd feared becoming another pawn in his schemes. Yet, there was also a strange sense of curiosity. Sullivan's reputation preceded him, and Todd couldn't deny the fascination with his new cellmate's notorious past. Their first meeting was awkward. Sullivan, a wiry man in his late 50s with piercing blue eyes and a slicked-back mane of silver hair, sauntered into the cell with a confidence that seemed out of place in the prison's grim surroundings. Todd, always the polished Southern gentleman, extended a hand in greeting. Sullivan eyed the hand for a moment before shaking it, his grip firm and unyielding. "So, you're the famous Todd Chrisley," Sullivan drawled, his voice laced with irony. "I've heard a lot about you." "And you must be Jimmy Sullivan," Todd replied, trying to match the other man's calm demeanor. "Quite the reputation you have." Sullivan smirked. "Reputation's everything in here, Chrisley. Remember that." Over the next few days, Todd learned just how true those words were. Sullivan had a way of commanding respect and fear in equal measure. He navigated the prison's social hierarchy with ease, earning favors and making deals with a skill that bordered on artistry. Todd, ever the strategist, knew he had to tread carefully. Despite their differences, the two men found themselves drawn into a cautious alliance. In the unforgiving world of prison, alliances were often a matter of survival. Todd's connections to the outside world and Sullivan's influence within the prison walls created a symbiotic relationship. They shared stories of their past lives, each revelation a chess move in their ongoing game of trust and deception. Todd recounted the rise and fall of his reality TV empire, the lavish parties, and the relentless pursuit of the American dream. Sullivan listened with a mixture of amusement and pity. To him, Todd's story was a cautionary tale of hubris and downfall, a narrative he knew all too well. In return, Sullivan shared tales of his elaborate cons, the thrill of the chase, and the inevitable betrayal that marked his life of crime. Todd couldn't help but be captivated by the audacity of it all. One night, as they sat on their bunks, Sullivan turned to Todd with a serious expression. "Chrisley, you ever think about what comes next? I mean, after all this?" Todd sighed, staring at the gray concrete walls. "Every day, Jimmy. Every single day. But it's hard to see a future beyond these walls." Sullivan nodded thoughtfully. "Here's the thing, Todd. We're both survivors. We've been knocked down, but we're not out. You've got a family out there, a life waiting for you. Me? I've got nothing left to lose. But maybe, just maybe, we can help each other get through this." The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken possibilities. Todd realized that despite the differences in their pasts, they were both navigating the same uncertain future. Trust was a fragile currency in prison, but for now, it was all they had. As weeks turned into months, their bond deepened. They watched each other's backs, shared laughs, and even found moments of genuine camaraderie.